Alrighty, folks. So it looks like in this day and age in the credit card world, there's always a little bit of changes. There's little, people talking about certain things. One in particular is about this card right here, the Hilton Surpass card. This is one that has been talked about more often than most other cards in the entire world on credit card YouTube lately, and it's for a good reason. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Hilton Surpass card, basically, let me give you the full rundown because there's a lot of people having issues with this card and gift cards not being available and how else to use this credit in the easiest way possible outside of staying at hotels. So I kind of wanted to just go through some of the things I found. I figured let's do a dedicated video exactly talking about what else you can do with this credit if you're not able to get gift cards, but then even on top of that, little tricky ways to make use of this credit as well. And then also a lot of the issues people found by using these gift cards. I figured to have it all consolidated in one place, we could all talk about this. So this way, even if you have Hilton gift cards now and you want to use them, maybe you might not be able to use them. Maybe there's different ways to use them. So here, let me bring this up on the screen here, catch everybody up to speed. So essentially, the Hilton Surpass card, right? The card I just had in my hand. This card has a $150 annual fee. Very, very cool, very nice. And one of the main perks on this card that really didn't have it last year before the revamp was something called the $200 Hilton statement credit. Now, in true Amex fashion, you're going to be getting this broken down in quarterly statement credits. So it's going to be $50 every 3 months. What people have found, and basically the standard vanilla way to actually use this credit, which I outlined in my video this morning, is that you were supposed to just go to a Hilton hotel, pay with your Hilton Surpass card, right? We're paying cash, not in points, and then you'll get back that statement credit, $50 every quarter. Off your, essentially off the bill after you pay your card and whatnot, just a couple of days after your stay. And that's like the vanilla way to use it. But what some people have found kind of over time is that you could just type in buyhiltongiftcards.com and you're actually able to buy gift cards throughout the year. So every single quarter, go on here, it will code towards that credit, that $50 credit, and thus you can build up your gift cards month after month, or really every 3 months, and then have one big grand extravaganza at the end of the year. But as you can see at the top, which I outlined a little bit earlier, is due to an unforeseen inventory shortage. That's us. That's the Points and Miles community. Hilton gift card sales are temporarily suspended. So Hilton is expecting an inventory soon. We sincerely apologize for this inconvenience. So this leaves to a lot of people either in two worlds. One, how else am I going to use my Hilton Surpass $50 quarterly credit? And this is not only true of the Hilton Surpass card, it's also true of the Hilton Business card with its $240 Hilton credit. Everybody who has this card was kind of doing it in this way as well. And even on top of that, the Business Platinum card also has recently introduced in the last month, I believe, its own $200 Hilton credit that's people could technically do the same thing on and buy these Hilton gift cards. So with all of this happening, all of these different cards issuing the statement, essentially that is kind of what led to this. So now some people are thinking is it just a temporary shortage? Is it temporary suspension? Or is this going to last forever? And so I wanted to take the perspective of, well, what happens if this is gone forever and what else could we do? Before we go into exactly what you could do, though, I also wanted to showcase some different things here, like some articles that I actually never realized were up before until I was researching this morning. But I realized a lot of people have actually added their own data points on the this credit and using gift cards and exactly the issues that they've run into, which a lot of you guys who have joined the Venture Capital Discord link below have also noted by using their gift cards. Now, I haven't actually come across these issues thus far, but I figured it was good to put this out there in case you are sitting on a pile of them, and just so you know, this could happen to you. So at least the article here says, beware what to know before buying Hilton gift cards, 50% surcharge. So they mention here that numerous people have reported an issue with Hilton gift cards, whereby Hilton system charges a 15% surcharge when using the gift cards to cover a room charge. So essentially, when you're going, you call a hotel, go to book the hotel, cool, stay there. When you go at checkout, typically that's when we're paying our gift cards. Some people have noted that there was a 15% surcharge, which I have not actually heard until reading this. So I thought that was interesting and wanted to bring it up to you. And what they actually mention here is that it's actually been going on for at least a year and probably much longer. So I thought that was fairly interesting. And I think some of them actually mention here, let me see, whether $15 comes back to the card. I think they mentioned about exactly like why this happens and how to do that instead. Some people have mentioned that they would actually just like you have to tell the rep to claim it as a credit card, like put it into the system as a credit card, and this way it'll kind of avoid that 15% fee. But I just thought that was pretty interesting. Pretty funnily in this article here, obviously Hilton needs to get their act together. I guess because in this case, oh yeah, here it is. The Hilton employee suggests processing the gift card as an advance deposit. Now, I read that in some Reddit threads that we'll go into in just a second, but essentially an advance deposit, almost as if you're prepaying your incidentals, like if you're going to I don't know, some luxurious hotel that allows you to prepay some of your incidentals up to a certain amount. You can, theoretically, what I heard that some employees will do is they actually can take the gift card, and this is like a little trick that I'm thinking of. Maybe you guys have done it at home who are watching. But one thing I thought it was interesting is the possibility, like they mentioned here, is allowing to do an advance deposit or a pre-authorization form to prepay those incidentals. So this way, well, one, if you're somebody that would get hit with this 15% at that particular hotel, if that happens, well, one, you're avoiding that. And then two, that's also a really interesting backdoor way instead of having to worry about, I have to book the hotel. Okay, let me call up and then pay cash at checkout. It might be even easier to where you can quite literally, and again, this is a huge mile may vary. Call the hotel, see if this is all kosher. But some people have mentioned, and like I said, there's a Reddit thread of an employee talking about this a little bit later. But just prepaying your incidentals, to which, obviously in one case, if you're like buying a lot of stuff at the on-site store, or you're gonna have restaurant charges and you just bill it back to the room, theoretically that could be used towards, paying those fees just via your gift card, and you never had to worry about, juggling the gift cards essentially because you're actually prepaying in advance, so you could have it set to charge like immediately. Like if you wanted to do it tonight for a hotel stay 6 months from now, you technically could do that with a typical credit card, but apparently that might be possible with the gift card as well. And then in doing so, you could actually start paying with points instead of paying in cash with gift cards. So I think that's pretty powerful itself. I also noted here some other issues that I thought were interesting. Was this the actual page that I was looking here? I think this page is mostly talking about just how some people, yeah, here are the data points. So let's see. Here are some of the problems that we're seeing with Hilton gift cards, which are issued by Amex. Loaded gift cards, which are showing a balance when checked, are not working at checkout to pay a portion of the folio. So this is actually what we just mentioned, like prepaying the room folio, which is actually prepaying your incidentals at those particular properties. Some people mention like loading gift cards in that way. They're just like breaking the system essentially at checkout. And for those of you who have used these gift cards, typically one of two things happen. You'll go there, and yes, I'll come to the live chat in a second. But typically, you go there, you'll hand them the gift cards. There's somebody that's there that's like, I don't know how to use them, and then they'll go get like a manager or something like that, and then they punch those numbers in. Into which I read also that a lot of employees will again just punch it in as a credit card instead of a gift card, and then it goes through no problem. So I thought that was interesting. Let me see here. Same issue for another person. After much back and forth with Hilton, the Amex gift card desk, they were unable to get anywhere and gave up. Interesting. Because the supervisor said I need to call Hilton, have them remove the high security code in order to use it. So that's interesting. This person notes on an international trip, 2 work and 2 fail. Interesting. It seems like some cards may be issued to work domestically. This person mentions that a Hilton tapestry a couple weeks ago didn't work. Not sure when this article actually came out. I didn't really see it at the top there. And then we see, after being told they did not accept them at check-in, I had a very knowledgeable front desk manager the next day who knew how to make them work. As someone mentioned, the trick was she had to enter the amount of card as to be total charge, so it took a little longer than usual, several swipes instead of one. So I think that's pretty interesting. And then I actually saved this here. So I thought this was fairly interesting. Now, I haven't really seen, maybe I missed it, but I could not find like perfect terms and conditions. I mean, we have like the typical, terms and conditions, not terms and conditions, but essentially how you can use these particular, gift cards, like they mentioned here. Redeem it at dining at one of our restaurants. Like, yeah, that's fine. They don't expire. For a gift, for yourself or a gift. The denominations, but then also here, buying a Hilton gift card can be used for paying for room at checkout. Can't be used to book a holder room. Okay, interesting. But then on this here, I found again, maybe I missed it, but I saw this language here and I thought it was interesting. So it's like it delineates between US and UK, but after I looked into it, it seems like this is just a continuation of the same program term. But if you actually look into it here, it mentions like the typical language, which is, basically what you see on that other page here. That could be used here. But if you go down a little bit, it actually mentions like more explicitly, or I guess, here's the big discrepancy here. I guess for those of you who are like traveling abroad, I don't know how this works with like buying a gift card. I just thought it was interesting. Maybe you guys have info on this. But this is how how we'll swing this, because I was a little bit mistaken. I thought that it was issued by Amex. So I guess maybe if this is true in the UK, they mentioned explicitly like, okay, if it accepts Visa, so I'm guessing these gift cards in the UK are Visa. The card can be used like directly for hotel folio charges only, so can't be used for guests may apply for restaurant to their folio and sell checkout using the card. Okay, so they mentioned that as well, but that's what made me think, like seeing the word hotel folio, and I was like, is this possible? So I looked into it a little bit further. um and also, so let me just make sure. Yeah, so this guy says he works at a front desk at a Hilton property, and this is kind of what I mentioned earlier. And he says the way that I've processed Amex gift cards in the past is he's been able to process the gift card as an advance deposit, then authorize the remainder on a credit card terminal, and he's never had an issue in this way. And I think a lot of people don't realize some of these properties, like if you go into like luxurious properties. I remember talking to Sean Lane about this. He was talking about the Waldorf Astoria in Cabo. He mentioned like because he was going to run out of his Hilton Aspire cards resort credit at the end of the year in December, that he actually did what's called a pre-credit authorization form to prepay the incidentals. I think some of these will allow you to just prepay like all over the phone. But typically there's actually a form here, which that he noted that he filled out, where you'll actually be able to fill out some information like the date that you're checking in, your name, all these different things. But then you can actually put in your card number. And it made me think, well, at least in the case of the Aspire, people are just putting their Aspire card on here. It's December and my hotel stay is not for next year, something like that in February. So it's like, oh, I'm going to miss out on my Aspire credit. And if it's a resort property, okay, just put your numbers in here for the Aspire. Go down below and says amount to be immediately charged to a credit card for the room and taxes or deposit. And this way, your card is charged today in December. You don't lose your credit. January comes around, you get a new credit, and then you can do the same thing again. You're basically prepaying for food and whatever incidentals at that hotel itself. But I don't know. Seeing by some of the language of some of these employees, it almost seems like that's kind of a way to almost pay a checkout if you're paying cash at the hotel as well. But for the main thing is for the incidentals. So I just thought it was interesting. Maybe this is a way to prepay for gift cards itself. But essentially, that's what that employee was mentioning, is kind of almost like an advanced deposit in a way, which in this case, it might be much less lackluster. You just kind of, talk to them on the phone. But I thought this was something interesting, and maybe you guys had insight on this as well. Something I would personally try, or maybe call and and see what's happening. But just to know that this is all a thing, this is all available, and this is just all at least the thoughts I have on it right now, as everyone's very upset with upset with this inventory shortage. Of course, again, if you're traveling a lot, cool. Use your $50, go pay cash at a hotel. But we're in this game to try to game a little bit as well. So I'm back here. Let me see what I missed. Oh my goodness. Let me see what I missed here. So what do you guys think about that so far? As I'm reading through, please see if you have any tricks. Thinking through. Some of those things like pre-authorization form and whatnot. But I would say, at least for now, that's the thoughts I have on it, and how we can kind of take advantage, so to speak, in a way, if not using it the typical way. Like we mentioned. So I just thought that was funny. I just thought that's funny. So Juan, hey Anthony, just saw the Delta Surpass video. Appreciate it. I talked a little bit about it, but I was like, you know what? Let me actually go a little in depth with some of the stuff I've learned from all this, and just do a dedicated gift card talk. Jordan, what's popping? Call me Lonnie. What's popping? Mike Newland. We got Mr. Frugal Dad. Appreciate you, sir. Jabron, how's it going? Joe Brito, mi gente is here. King Sam, what's going on? They're definitely pulling something. Credit probably get patched. Anna Torres, is it worth getting the Hilton Honest card if I don't travel frequently? I would say for sure. I would definitely say, at least for the welcome offer alone. Some of the other benefits on it, I think so. I think if you're just staying like at least 4 nights, three or 4 nights at a hotel per year, the Surpass can make sense personally for me. So that's, it's one trip a year. Lisa says, I guess Amex was for real watching the streams here and saw our tricks. I know, right? You never know. You never know, man. There's always somebody watching. It is true though. They do. Joe says, Double didn't cheat. Oh yeah. Kevin says, not mad, just disappointed. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Lazy says, maybe eat at a Hilton restaurant. Yeah, I mean technically it does say that that's I think that's possible. Yeah, I think that could work. Jerome says, I'm willing to bet that Hilton and Amex will close this gift card hack. They will view it as an exploit and shut it down. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. I think that's the big talk of the town right now. It's like, we game the system so hard. Are they going to take it all away from us? If so, there's always, I think there's always ways around it. Literally, like what I talked about. Now, I was mentioning specifically like gift cards for the pre-authorization, which is kind of like a weird thought. It's not necessarily one that people would have to run into, but technically you can do that exact same thing like I mentioned with the Aspire. Prepay your incidentals if the hotel allows with your Hilton Surpass card. With the Hilton Surpass card, literally just fill out the details in the Surpass, have it so that they charge it immediately for the room folio, again if the hotel allows, and then you'll have a cool $50. And say the hotel is a year from now, you can build up all 4 of those credits every single year and have $200. And if you're eating at the on-site restaurant one night, it's nice. You get some steak, you get some whatever. It's at a nice property. You probably with some wine. You get some of the I don't know, some sides and whatnot. Maybe it's a cool $150, right? Like you can make use of that credit absolutely. Like if I had no other way, that would be the way I would do it. In fact, I actually think that's way easier than gift cards. Personally, I think it's just do the pre-authorization form, prepay the incidentals. You don't even have to worry about it. I'm somebody who likes to eat at the restaurant, the Hilton, or at a hotel anyway. So I guess you have to be that person, but that's why I just think it's pretty powerful. Literally, as I'm mentioning this, Davos says the same thing. Can we use the $50 Surpass credit on our future pre-deposit at a Hilton property similar to the Aspire credit? Yeah, it'll work the exact same way, but it's just more broad in this case because the Aspire has to be a resort property, right? But this is a broad Hilton, credit, Hilton hotel credit. So yeah, you can just prepay your incidentals with all of them. So I just think that's powerful. I honestly think that's way better. Really think about it though. Yes, it's cool to have the gift cards and because you can pay for an actual room over time. But most of us are paying with points anyway. Like, a lot of us really love to either, if we're booking our Hiltons, maybe it's through those like a third party, like an FHR or like in my case, MasterCard. But for somebody like me who's always eating at the hotel, I think that's way better. You don't have to carry the gift cards. You don't have to worry about them having to deal with it. You just use the credit like that. And you could split it up as many times as you want, depending on how far away your hotel is in the year. If you can wait the 3 months and what have you. So I think I think it's better way. Personally. Oh, I literally skipped over it. John R. He was the inspiration here. He did the Hilton on his Surpass card. Is it ruined? More so just talking about exactly how he liked to use the gift card and stuff like that. So it was a good video. Just wanted to shout him out for that as well. I meant to do that at the beginning. So my fault on that, John. But John, I love you, man. We'll have you come on. We'll do some stuff together. Don Kim, appreciate you, man. Don Kim, did I ever tell you I love your chair in the middle of nowhere? It's really good. Lady says you need to install an ad block on your browser. Too many ads. I know, right? You gotta watch ads on the stream, and then you gotta watch ads in the video itself. Like you never can go away. Juan says, folks being dramatic, to be honest. Yeah, look, it's like anytime something gets taken away from us, like we don't want it. We don't want to take it away. We want to game the system. But I hear you. But listen, pre-authorization is good, man. Incidentals are good. Sunmaster's here. A residential Dragon, what is it? Dragon Pass correspondent. What do you mean Surpass gift cards are gone? Yeah, man, it's like yeah, man. Listen, I'm sorry. I know it's like I shouldn't laugh at it because like we kind of did this. Like everyone who talked about it, we kind of did that. But I just love I love that we could have this kind of impact. It's such a our community just be like Hilton gift card. Nobody talked about them. All of a sudden, due to an unforeseen inventory shortage. I just think I'm sorry. I know it's bad, but I just find it so funny. But I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I like it. It's I like to know that we can make a difference, even if it's for our detriment. Kevin says, oh, Juan Garcia was here. Sorry, I'm skipped him. Juan Garcia was popping. Kevin, my guess because people use the Hilton credit for the Amex cards to the gift card. They want to stop gaming the system for sure. Chaz, 20 minutes. Yo, what's popping, man? Jose Marzan Jr. Two Chicago front desk girls didn't know how to process the gift card. Manager had to come and show them how. Yeah, exactly as I mentioned. That's like always what happens. Always. You go there, they don't know how to do it. The manager comes by, like, yeah, you just do this. So I thought it was interesting. Lee says there's no Hilton gift cards to buy in the U as far as I know. I never found info about it, so I believe it doesn't exist here. We could even access the gift cards website you showed without a VPN. And it says it's blocked here and I'm outside of the US. See, that's so interesting. That's why I was looking at it. I was like, why does it say US and UK? But it almost looks like it's the same info, But then I looked, I didn't realize when I was researching earlier, but looking at it now, I was like, oh, it's Visa. So it has to be issued somewhere else. So because it's issued by Amex when we buy them. Oh, I don't think I have it here. Damn it. I did I leave it? I think I left it somewhere. But I found, oh, did I really get rid of that? Why did I get rid of that? Yeah, I found earlier that apparently there's a particular hotel. I thought somebody mentioned this on stream a couple of weeks ago that there's a Hilton hotel in California somewhere that sells gift cards physically in person. I thought that was interesting, but apparently there's one in Maui as well. They didn't mention which hotel, but they said there's a Hilton in Maui. I'm wondering if it's the Waldorf Astoria out there that actually you can buy gift cards at. So I thought that was interesting physically. So if you really care that much, I just spilled water on the computer. So if you really care that much, maybe take a trip to Maui. Listen, Jose says, went into an Orlando area Hampton Inn and asked if they sold gift cards. Girl said she had never seen one. She just suggested I go to Oh my God. Everything I bring up, you guys are mentioning right on the next sentence. Yeah. You won't find it anywhere except for like those two Hilton hotels, apparently. Even though they literally say it's like doesn't exist. But apparently they do in those select locations, those couple places. Filmo's World said, Hilton gift cards make lovely drink coasters. I have a set of 6 now. I know, right? I actually should do something with them. A fabulous Filmo. Filmo, when the inauguration? Oh my God. Yeah, when we get in the start, Filmo. What's up, Jesse? Gilbert. Hey, Anthony. I had the gold personal, but closed it last year, and I'm left with only box cards. What does that mean? Box cards. Am I not reading this right? If I apply for a personal one, would it be a soft or hard pull? But I'll close it last year, and I'm left with only box cards with Amex. Box? Do you mean? I'm just guessing. Any other one? I had the gold Are you just talking about the regular Amex Gold? And if I apply for personal, I mean, are you just saying you just want the card back, the gold card back, but without a welcome offer? I mean, if that's the case, then no, it'll be a soft pull. Like soft pull 99% of the time. Yeah. So I mean, basically any card you get after the first one is like 99% chance of being a soft pull. Just to mention. We got that. I was thinking of buying gift cards helps corporate a lot more than the franchise Hilton hotel operators. I will not be surprised if they killed the Hilton gift card loophole for Surpass. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Like a lot of people, a lot of people in the Discord, I think Jim K specifically talk about breakage. Essentially, like 20% of all gift cards issued to people via companies like don't get used. So it's like kind of helping the bottom line. But I almost feel like he mentions that there's probably like was a precedent for gift card. Like there had to have been a reason you could buy gift cards online. Like there had to have been some section of a cohort of people that were buying them. But 100% not even close to the amount of people in our community. I feel like otherwise we would have had that, in the past, I feel like, but I just, if that's the case, I just, I don't think so. I don't know. I would like, if that's the case, then yeah, maybe they would kill the loophole. I mean, the easiest way would be like, well, one, yeah, if they figure out it's like, oh, that's a loophole. I mean, but is it really? I don't know. Is it really even a loophole though? Just because it works? I mean, I don't know. It depends on your definition, right? But yeah, if they call it a loophole and they cancel it, sure. I mean, the easiest, solution to this, if they wanted to continue, because it's not like I mean, I guess technically they never gave the credit before. Like this is a new credit essentially. Like it's from last October. I mean, it's only a little bit over a year old. They're giving it out and stuff, but either way, it's like it's going back to the properties. Like I mean, it's really. I almost feel like the gift cards probably would add to more breakage. Like you're probably less likely to use the gift cards than if you just used it properly with the Hilton Surpass card. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I feel like a lot of people just end up hoarding them and then they'll maybe forget them at home and stuff like that. So I almost feel like if they just made it an online option, now you have it on your, oh, which is another person mentioned, adding the Hilton gift card to like your Apple Pay. And apparently that was able to circumvent the whole issue of like typing in the numbers and all that stuff. I don't know. I never did that myself, but I read that. So like punching in the Hilton gift card numbers, put it on your Apple Pay or what have you, and then use that to pay at checkout for the hotel itself. So I thought that was interesting. Um, but yeah, if they just like issued it online, I mean, the credits are going back to, like American Express and Hilton. I mean, they have this partnership, right? Like they're buying each other's point systems, or at least Hilton's point systems over time. So like, I mean, people are getting paid, but like, yeah, I just wonder, like they never had the credit before, now they have it. How much are they losing? Like all the money's going back to Hilton anyway. So like, I don't know. What are you worried about? But I get it. I get there's a lot of things we don't know behind the scenes. Terrell says, I will dine at a Hilton property here in New York City to use the Surpass $50 credit. If it doesn't work, I will chat with them like I did yesterday for the $300 Equinox credit used for a massage. Oh, Terrell, let me know. Were you able to actually do the massage and it code or not code, but did you chat with them and they actually were like, oh, our mistake, we'll give you the $300? Because I mentioned this before and I thought it was really interesting. In New York City, there's an Equinox hotel. It's like the fittest gym or fittest hotel in America. But obviously, like, I looked it up. I don't think anybody really tried it. I think one person theorized it, but like essentially using your platinum card $300 yearly Equinox credit and just like paying for a night at that hotel. But I wonder, like, it won't code, like pretty much 100% won't code probably. But I wonder if there's a way to, complain on the Amex app and be like, oh, no one told me this, and then they actually do credit you the $300 for that hotel stay. So I thought that was interesting. Maybe it's possible. Joe Mascaro, just watch your video, great stuff. But the 15K for free night is calendar year, not first year, so you got to be timely with your application. Yes, good point. Good point. Yeah. See, there's some things you just can't. I didn't account for. I guess I did. In my mind, I'm thinking something similar, but I didn't account for me actually physically saying calendar year. So good point on that. I will fix that for the future for sure. Thank you for that correction. So that's a very good point. Yeah. So yeah, I guess I should have told everyone like, hey, instead of because I was showing a lot of May material, I was like, oh, May hotels. Probably should have shown like, yeah, I guess like December. Get the card in time, January. Okay, start the clock. Very good point, Joe. I missed that. That's actually good. That's good to know. PK says zero credits. Well, actually, let me hit up Lazy. He says 91 people watched and only 17 likes. Smack that like button. Hey, I'll just say, listen, I don't really do plugs, but I think I should start doing a little bit of plugging, right? I mean, everybody, Joe's got his wallets, all these things. My plug doesn't cost anybody though, Joe. I'll just say, if you 101 people are in here right now, if you're not already a part of Venture Capital Discord, that is linked down below. I love the Discord. A bunch of these kind of insights I learned from all the smarter people in there, and I'm going to be coming out with some different, less talked about things in this space, and then some other outside things like life lessons, if you even care about that. If you care anything at all, I have a newsletter. If you could still join right now, the link, I think it's the first link, is the newsletter. If you sign up to that, first 100 people who sign up will give you the ability to earn an extra wallet. It's over $100. So quick plug for me. Go win yourself an extra wallet and then, read some of my stupid things. PK says, zero credit score, zero accounts, zero inquiries. Best way to begin building credit. So actually, me and Sunmaster were talking about this the other day in the Discord. He didn't like that I put the Capital One Platinum secured card at like a C or B tier. I forgot what I put. I think I put it did I put it a B tier? No, I was B tier last year. I put it C tier, and he thought it wasn't good, to start out. Personally, I felt the struggle of like never having student loans, never having AUs for my parents. They didn't really think about credit cards in that way. So I had no credit score, no establishment by the time I was 21. And I got denied from a million different stores. And the only place that ever let me actually get my first credit card was the secured card with Capital One, the Platinum Secured. I put down a 49 deposit, got back 200, and then it's basically 99% chance odds of actually getting approved. Use that for a couple of years, your score will be in the 700s. Like literally just do that, your score will be in the 700s. I will say, however, he did bring up a good point. The Chase Freedom Rise apparently is very good for first time credit builders. So theoretically the Chase Freedom Rise would be a better card, I would say, if you can get approved for it. I think it has like a $50 welcome offer. I guess you probably have the ability to. I don't actually know if that card can upgrade to like the Freedom Flex or what have you. Not that you would, because you don't want to forego the welcome offer, but I would say try the Chase Freedom Rise. See your odds on that. Personally, I like my Capital One Platinum secured. It was a guaranteed approval, and it got me to where I am today. 20 cards later. And then also, another point I didn't mention to Sunmaster is that there actually is, PK, this might be a little bit too in the weeds, but for you guys, I thought it was interesting. I was also thinking about it. It was like the Platinum Secured card. Well, they held my deposit for 6 years, so that's fine, or 5 years, I think. So they held my 49 for 5 years, so that's great. And you can't even ask for it back; they just give it to you when they give it to you. So that's great. But technically, you'll turn from a secured card to an unsecured card, so a regular credit card. And then you technically would be eligible to upgrade that card to either like a Quicksilver or a Saver if should Capital One ever allow you to do that. I'm still waiting on that. I have my unsecured platinum for a year plus now, and they're not gonna let me upgrade ever. But I'm just letting you know there's like an interesting backdoor way to getting the saver that most people don't think of. But yeah, I would say Platinum Secured or Freedom Rise, I think, are great starter cards to get started. And then just do that. Just do one. Don't go crazy like I did. I got a bunch of different cards. Just get that one card. Use it for a year, 2 years. You'll have a 700 plus score. Just pay it on time. You'll definitely kill it with that. Absolutely. Don Kim says some Conrad spas sell gift cards. That's interesting. I wonder if that will code as the spa or the Hilton. That's good to know. Sledge said, I just ordered 20 Hilton gift cards from the sledging team shop. All right, so folks, Sledge is apparently go. I think is the website just sledging.com. I'm not sure. Apparently he's selling gift cards, man. So hit him up. Hit him up. No name. I have had my Amex Hilton gift card for about a year, and I have a feeling that I'll never be able to get rid of it. Every time I present this thing at checkout, the answer is the same. I mean, sometimes you just got to push a little harder. Just be like, listen, I used them at a bunch of properties. Even though you're lying, you say I've used them. There has to be a way. Can we get a manager here? Otherwise, yeah, maybe you can try a couple things, or maybe sell it on eBay. Although selling on eBay, is that considered manufacturer's spending? I didn't really consider that. I don't know. But maybe the prepaying thing would be interesting too. Kevin says, gives me David Havu. Yeah, for real on the build and curve. Oh my goodness. Teddy was popping. It's popping, Teddy. Monroe, the Monroe Doctrine. I love it. I'm thinking of applying for the Delta Reserve opinions. I don't got to pay the annual fee military, so having a downgrade path to the no annual fee is nice. I think that's powerful. I mean, look, in my opinion, if you're in the military and you're not going to be paying an annual fee, I don't think any card is off limits. I guess stay within your limits of how many credit cards you can get with Amex. 5, 6, some cases 7, in some cases 9. If you're Sledge, but in my opinion, if you know you're going to be become inactive next year and you're going to have to start owing annual fees, then I don't know, maybe just think about it on a 1-year horizon, but I'll apply for all of them. Get the Aspire, the Reserve, the Platinum. Get 2 Platinums. Get 5 Platinums. If you're military and it's waived, who cares? Who cares? And then you're right. Yeah, if the time comes where you're going active, they start, charging you annual fees. Yeah, just downgrade to the blue, and then you're fine. I guess the only thing is, sorry, I guess the only thing is, if you don't already have the welcome offers on the gold and the platinum, maybe think about getting those in conjunction. Maybe do all 3 applications. Who knows? So if you go for the reserve, they have that language now that you won't be able to get the welcome offer on the platinum and the gold. So just as that's a caveat there. As and Sledge actually concurs. If no annual fee, there's no reason not to get it. And Monroe says, yes and no. Apply for something. I want to keep it long term. On the fence. No, I mean personally, I don't even think you have to think about it that hard in your situation. I really don't. I hear you, but in your case, you're like, you obviously you're serving the country, so Amex, gives you or some other, they pay you for that. So I think they, take advantage while you can. Lazy says there is a Hilton credit card here in Germany, and it's a normal MasterCard. It has no Hilton credit or any mention of gift card. It gives gold status, earns Hilton points, and got some insurance. Interesting. Winston, what's going on, Winston? Time to buy Starbucks gift cards from Hilton. I guess worst case. Oh my goodness, man. If we gotta devolve to that, man. I don't know. Oh God, Juan Garcia. Boys, Barclays really screwed the pooch with the $4.99 JetBlue preview with no lounge access. I know. I was watching Mac Lawson's video on it, and he was like, something about in the past putting polls out there, like, hey, there's going to be some sort of lounge access card, and then you didn't get it with a $500 annual fee card. I mean, that's insane. I mean, I bet. I wonder. I wonder if Jet, I don't know, whatever. Do they have their lounges? I don't even know. I wonder how much it would cost to actually just buy that, per year. Let me see here. Such as just know that with the companion certificate, you can't use points for the first ticket. Yes. Can't use, you gotta pay cash for the companion cert. John McKinstry. Oh my God, John McKinstry. I have not seen you in a long time, sir. How are you? Take a sip. John McKinstry, killing it, man. This is an OG right here. John McKinstry, I've been seeing him for, I feel like 2.5 years now, man. I feel like he's like heavy in this credit card game. It's been a while. Luckily, I haven't had to buy any gift cards yet, as I've been able to use the credit every quarter since I got the card because I've actually been staying at Hilton properties. When you throw the actually in there, it's almost like you're throwing shade at everyone else who's not traveling that much. I'm just kidding. No, John doesn't do that. He doesn't throw shade at anybody. But no, 100%. That's like the way to do it, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. So okay, good thing Sledge mentioned there. Filmo says another great use of the $50 Hilton credit is buying Filmo beverage at the Caribe in PR. You know what, Filmo? If I have a gift card at that point, and you make your first video, well, we can do that. We can arrange that. Interesting. Okay, here. So they got that conversation. Omar Zain. Oh, wait, hold on. I missed JP Buffett. What's going on, JP Buffett, the good doctor? Killing it, absolutely. We have two doctors. We have Dr. Stan and we have Dr. JP Buffett. I guess different fields, but what could we call? I mean, is Stan? I mean, he's Dr. Stan. Do we call him? I think JP we call the good doctor, but Stan, I don't know do we call him the good. I don't really know. Do we have a name for him? You guys who join his lives? I don't know. Omar, after 1 year, it upgrades to a CFU as long as you don't miss a payment. Oh, really? I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Huh. Okay. So the Freedom Rise changes to a CFU after a year. See, like, is that so? What do you guys think? Is that better than do you think that's a better option? Because then you're foregoing that annual, I mean, the welcome offer of like at least 20K points on the CFU just by going Freedom Rise. I guess you get a $50 welcome offer on the Freedom Rise, but I almost think you'd be better off with the Platinum Secured. Use that for a year and then apply for a Freedom Unlimited once your credit's high enough, and then you can get the welcome offer on that one. I don't know. Personally, I feel like that's better. What do you think? Some mess is going to kill me. Lady says, sub to the newsletter. Appreciate you. I hope I don't let you down. Actually, the first one I'm putting it together. I want it to be really Valentine's Day centric. I think I think it'd be nice. There's little tricks in here that I've used over the years. I thought it'd be fun. Nice lighthearted thing. Not too crazy, but just some thoughts. So thank you for that. First, in the description, first pin thing. Terrell says, via chat with Amex, I asked if they would manually apply the $300 Equinox credit we're talking about for 2024 since it's been 6 weeks. The reply was, great news. I was about to apply $300 credit for 2024. Really? Wow. And I'm just making sure I'm reading this correctly. It's been 6 weeks. So you are able to, and this was just the other day, right? So you are actually able to manually apply the $300 credit for 2024 and still have your credit for 2025. That's pretty cool, man. If that's possible, I mean, if that's possible, who's to say that I can't go and stay at that Equinox hotel in New York, $300 a night, be like, hey, it says Equinox credit, it's Equinox hotel. What's the difference, So, yeah, that's, it's got me thinking. If you could just complain and be like, hey, and they will manually apply it, that's good to know. That's good to know, man. Ron Byrne, can you visit the Hilton Resort in Greenville, SC? We need a data point. I know the embassy says it's a resort. I don't know if it actually is one. I don't know if it actually is a resort. I'd have to actually check, which I could do after, but I'm not actually sure what you mean on a data point. If you mean for because that would, in that case, it would be the Aspire, but I don't have the Aspire, unfortunately. Maybe one day though. I'm inching closer to it. Delta Uber credits, don't apply to Uber Eats, something like that. Yes, Jose, follow that, Monroe. That's the greatest trick there with that credit there. Jordan Ginnos, almost called you Ginzo. What's going on, Jordan? What's going on? Such says Discover It Secured is the best way. Pay on time for 6 months and they graduate the card. Hey man, listen, hell yeah, I'm all about the secured cards. I'm all about it. I'm all about them. They did me well. They helped me out. They help me out all the time. King Sam says, grab all the bonuses when you're in the military. I mean, why not? I mean, didn't someone say like Noble Credit? Noble Credit the other day, he's another guy in the space. They mentioned like he has like 10 platinums or something. He has like $8,000 in annual fees because he's military. Well, waived, obviously. But that's insane. That's crazy. Let's see here. Ron Byrne, how does the $50 credit work if staying overseas? Does it convert to local currency? Yeah, I wonder. I guess if you're, I mean, I would imagine yes. I would imagine it would. Like if you're doing that whole prepaying today, I would imagine like if you just prepay here, using your gift card in US, hey, I'm going there in a month. I would imagine at checkout, yes. But that's interesting. I don't know. I have not done that yet, so that would be interesting to note. Tristan says, should I PC product change my Quicksilver card to a saver or apply for a saver? And yes, I do have the upgrade. Oh, if you got it, do it. I never say anything that quick. I'm like, both can work, but I mean, there's really no point you keeping the Quicksilver, Tristan. I mean, come on. There's really, as somebody who has two of them at the moment, I'm dying to get an upgrade to the saver. It's a great card. I mean, obviously, it would be nice to apply for the saver and get a cool $200 welcome offer, right? But it's just so many people end up getting denied for it. I mean, look, if you don't care about your inquiries, maybe it can be worth applying for the saver and getting the cool $200 cash bonus after $500 spend. Then it could be worth it. If you don't care about your 524 at the moment, or it's very low, you don't care about the inquiry in case you get denied, then yeah, maybe it's worth applying for. If all else fails, or maybe you don't want to deal with it, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't keep the Quicksilver if you have the upgrade offer. If all else fails, for sure. Yeah, if I would convert both of my Quicksilvers to the saver if I had the option, but I can't. And one of them's a Visa and one's a Mastercard. Go figure. Doc Buffett, is that a better name? Is that, we could do Doc Buffett or Doc Buffet or Buffet? We can kind of do French. I don't know. Fun. What's going on? Fun. Can you still use the Amex Plaid to get into the AA lounges and get the airline essential credit? I think I actually just read that in the Discord. Like I think I read that a couple of days ago. I feel like so. If my memory serves me correctly, I think I literally just read that a couple of days ago with someone like mentioning them doing it. So in that case, yes. But I don't know 100%. I haven't tried it, myself. So yeah, that's interesting though. That is interesting. Yeah, I wonder what the limitation is, right? Like, because you can use that to get into the Delta Sky Clubs, right? I get my wife in with that. A Lounge, I mean, it's similar as long as it's your selected airline. I don't see why it would code differently, right? But apparently they do. Omar says, just want to celebrate an approval. Got an IMX Business Prime with a $200 gift card offer, approved with all three reports frozen. As it was SP with a 10 line. I'm not sure what that means. SP with a 10 line? Maybe fill me in. Maybe I'm unaware of something. But that's awesome. Very nice. Yeah, we got the Amex Business Prime a few months ago. I just spent the last of it on some filters and stuff, and some sensors, so I can help my brother-in-law buy a car. It's like little sensors you can connect to the car. It'll tell you like all the codes and what's wrong with it. Check engine light issues. But congrats, 200 is awesome. We only got like 125, I think. So powerful. And it says depends on if you got a Quicksilver lower credit score. Okay, so this favor. Memphis Mike, what's going on, Memphis? Good evening, y'all. With the upcoming 2025 refresh at Amex per the CEO, what are the chances Amex will come out with a crypto card? I recall some chatter about it in 2022, so maybe 2025 is the year. I mean, I would love to see some precedents It's hard to base your decision on just what is happening currently in the market, which is it kind of shockingly a lot more seems to be wide scale adoption of the crypto world with some of these ETFs being approved, some of the government mentioning it more recently. But much different than just a few, honestly, just like a few years ago or maybe 2020 when I first started like really hearing about crypto. It's like, hey, now it's like mainstream. It's definitely getting there. I mean, I mean, look, there will be a company that does it. Does Amex want to be the first? I should say of the bigger banks, right? Because obviously we have Gemini, we have Crypto.com, BlockFi had their own credit card before going kaput. I don't know if Kraken did, maybe they did. But there was a lot of these companies that issued them. In fact, I actually could have had an opportunity. I spoke to like the advertising team over at Gemini. There's a crypto exchange, and they were like, "Hey, you want to do a sponsored video talking about the Gemini card?" It's like I really didn't love the call because not to air out like the conversation, but I really didn't like it. The guy was very aggressive, and he was just like, maybe not aggressive, but he was just like, "Hey, let me tell you everything," and didn't even ask like my name or anything. But he was like, "Yeah, yeah, it's a great card. I just, I slap it on the table, and I paid for a $200 dinner, and I got my crypto rewards." I was like, "Oh, good for you." Come to find out, because he didn't explain the card to me really in that session, that like it has a limit of $200 every single month on restaurants. So I'm like, okay, that was just your marketing thing. Like you didn't go out to dinner. Like you don't have friends. That did not happen at all. You're using the marketing materials to get me to do a video on it. So obviously I goes to them after that. I said, "I don't want to talk about a crypto card." Unless unless there's a lot of money involved, but I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Maybe not kidding. I don't know. It's like 10 grand. Maybe I just do a quick video because it's like, it won't do well anyway. So who cares? Nobody will see it. And then you'd have to, but then it would have to be like, oh, huge disclaimer. This what like I did with one of those videos, like, oh, it's the worst credit card, can ruin your life. But yeah, I don't know who wants to be the first of the big banks. I almost feel like Chase would no, Chase is way too conservative. I don't know who would do it. I really don't know who would do it. I feel like Chase is more in that world, their CEO and whatnot, but uh, I don't know. Amex might be crazy. That would be wild. But rest assured, the first person who does it of these big banks, it's going to be a lot of talk, a lot of chatter. Credit card YouTube will likely change if the tides change to which like everything is crypto centric and like everybody's government's talking about it. It's like the newest big thing. It's kind of like stocks in 2020. Like not that many people talked about stocks too much prior to the pandemic. Right after that, and everybody is an investor. So I feel like it might be a similar thing like that with all the China. I don't know. I think it would be interesting though. I think it would be very, very interesting. And forget it. Oh, it would be so much hate on credit card YouTube. There would be so much hate. Oh, anybody who made a video on it, like saying it's good, it would be done. Terrell says you were able to manually do the $300 credit. Very cool. So that's good to know. That's cool. I might try that one day if I get my platinum back, which I think is going to happen soon. Kevin says if someone has a Costco credit card, they add 5% cash back for Costco gas. The cap is share the same cap with 4% cash back. For the gas, the EV charge and everything else is almost the same on the card. If anybody has info on that, I think you're asking like, is it the same cap for both of them? I feel like no. I feel like they have. If there is a cap, I feel like it's different, but I could be wrong. Not sure. I do not have that card. My life on Earth, local currency converted to USD on the statement if the card is from the US. Local currency converted to USD. Oh, interesting. Okay, good to know. Thank you for that. Talking about like, I don't know, paying $50 credit for a hotel abroad, something like that. So that's good to know. So local currency converted to USD. Okay, good to know. It says right now my Discover It has 5% cash back for restaurants and streaming, so I'd be using Saver for grocery for now. I mean, heck yeah. I mean, yeah, why not? Yeah. I mean, once that category ends, go ham with the Saver. So, no, for sure, absolutely. Kevin, what do you think? What do you think, Anthony? Are the chances with Amex credit card? I'm sorry, Kevin. I do not. Sorry. What do you mean? What Amex credit card? Like which Amex credit card? I would love to know. And then I can we can see. Tristan says I got my Quicksilver when I was in the 650s, but now I'm in the 730s. Last year I started with a $300 limit, and that grew to 400. Whoa! Then 3,400, then 39. Do you just? I mean, do you have a bigger bucket than everyone else? How come I went from 1,000 to 1,500 in 7 years, and you and you get one inside of I don't know what that time frame was, or last year I guess, and you got a 10x, or more. That's kind of crazy. 12, yeah, 13x. That's insane. In order to be clear, my son. Okay, cool. Boxer says, "What's up, Anthony? What's popping, Boxer? Long time no see. I think last week. Just a sad few 24 months. Going to the garden to let the hard inquiries cool down. Getting ready for a mortgage in the next year and a half, 2 years. Very, very nice. Listen, very nice. We've talked about some real estate a lot on these live streams every now and again. Um, I don't know if you're gardening to like get your inquiries or your 524 status really low. Just know that most banks will typically at most look at the last 6 months of inquiries for home loans and stuff. So like if you applied for a card 7 months ago, most banks likely won't even pull that. They'll just pull the last 6 months and see what was going on. So just so you know, there's that caveat. Of course, different lenders, different things, but on average, majority of them will look at like the last 6 months. So you kind of like some people I have doing right now, just like no applications for the next 6 months, and then get a home loan then at that time, just so you know. But I mean, listen, it's a sad few months, but look, you know, you can going to let the hard inquiries down, but look, it's a time to learn. It's time to refresh, get your game plan in order, and then you can start anew at that time. Terrell says, I recently had 6 inquiries removed after watching a video. How to get inquiries removed from Report Fast 2025. And the inquiries were removed in less than 7 days. Really, very nice, very nice. Yeah, I mean, I think there are ways you can kind of dispute that with some of the bureaus and stuff like that. A lot of these credit repair agencies will do that to kind of like get people ready, like home ready. They'll kind of remove a lot of inquiries. I guess I don't think there's really any issues with it. Maybe over the years I might have heard a couple of, but I don't know what would even come from that. I can't necessarily remember the people who told me like, oh, you don't want to do that. But yeah, I think that's Fun says, please let me know what to do. I think a lot of them are just saying this inquiry was in fault, this was not me, sending those letters directly to the credit bureaus and stuff. And if you speak to them, it's actually a pretty quick process. My brother-in-law did it not too long ago, and it was again less than 7 days they were able to do that, for sure. Fun says buying points with choice with a 40% bonus and using the points of 8,000 per stay in Japan is the bomb. Too soon. Too soon, Fun. Too soon. I heard this news that I'm sorry. Did I really just make that joke? I heard this news this morning on another channel, and I will buy my points to cover. Canceled. Anyway, so that's cool. That's good though. You can you get some good stays with that. Super Sal, what's up, Anthony? Have you heard of people with a Wells Fargo mortgage payment are allowed to pay it with a built card? Yeah, I mean, specifically, I'll do a quick shout out here. Mr. John R has talked about that. You can see in this video, but actually his most popular one as well. Paying mortgage through Built. He talks about him having a Wells Fargo mortgage, paying with his Built card, getting points for that. Yes. So yeah, I've heard that definitely. With Wells Fargo mortgage, I've also heard that with any other lender as well. I think we were talking about it on stream the other day with the community live. It was with Jackie. She was mentioning paying with her Built card with a non Wells Fargo mortgage. I technically do that as well. So yeah, it's possible, but you have to be safe. You have to be safe with it for sure. There's there's a couple things with it. You just basically doing the same thing as paying rent, but there's some issues with it. If sometimes the card can get declined, so you just got to be safe. But maybe sometimes worth trying. Wants to know how to remove the inquiries. Jordan says, I got my Quicksilver last March. It was wasy. I like that. It's like was and easy at the same time. I got my Quicksilver. Yeah, it's easy for sure. Had my Quicksilver and then got the save rule. Yeah, how come everybody gets an upgrade, not me? Unbelievable. Everybody gets an upgrade offer except for me. And I'm so pissed at that. Wow, I actually caught up. Where's everybody? Where's everybody at? Talk about Hilton. We can talk about anything. Have fun with it. Got my Quicksilver last March as my first credit card. Oh wow, you got that as your first one? Very cool. Very cool, Tristan. I mean, yeah, if you can upgrade it. Oh, actually, it's your first credit card. I mean, if you don't have any others, yeah, maybe it's worth applying for the saver and getting the welcome offer. Typically you'd say, get more chase cards, right? But, I guess in that case, but, you know, it depends what you want. Maybe get a Freedom Unlimited, get a Flex, then get a Saver. You can build up a lot of cool things there. Um, yeah, you can build up a lot of welcome offers. Yuri says, I have a few Aspires and I never bought a gift card. Yeah, I don't think you really can, though, with the Aspire, to be honest, Yuri. I don't think you really can with some of the credits that are on there. I'm sure there's ways, but that's not like the way that the normal Hilton credit is kind of going through. I would say. Filmo says, no applications for 6 months. I'd rather be homeless. Filmo, you're just too crazy. You're way too crazy, Filmo. Look, you could stand. I mean, to be honest, is it the end of the world if you apply for a home loan within 6 months? No, not really. I would suggest not going super crazy. Obviously, I'm not a lender; I'm a realtor, so I've had some experience with this personally, and with some clients and stuff like that. But I mean, I myself had, I guess technically, I guess, yeah, it was three separate cards, and I guess a total of, yeah, I mean, I guess two or three inquiries between all of them, between all of the bureaus, because it was a Capital One card, it was two inks, something like that. And yeah, I mean, when you go through it, in case you guys haven't seen those videos, when you apply for cards within that 6 month period, a lot of the times, especially if it's closer, but more specifically like last 3 months, the underwriter typically will ask like, hey, what is this? Is this, because when on the back end, when they're viewing when they pull your credit, they can see your rap sheet, they can see all the credit cards you've opened, they can see the ones that you have applied for. So any hard inquiry is going to show up on that report with the underwriter, and it's going to state like, hey, is this an open credit card? Is this an open personal loan? Is this some other loan with something else? They don't know. They just see that there is a hard inquiry. So in there, you have to have a letter of explanation that states like, yes, new debt was acquired. If it was like a personal loan, what have you. If it's a credit card, no new debt is acquired technically. And then in that case, or even if you got denied, no debt was acquired. And then you write down, yeah, I was very candid. I mean, they know I'm a credit card person. I just be like, listen, I'm just applying for cards, getting the welcome offers, and they understood, and it was fine. I have a client right now that actually did the exact same thing. He he might be watching. He applied for the Aspire card and a little bit ago, and they asked him. Actually, was it that? No, it was some other card. It was actually a Barclays card. That's right. That hit him with a hard inquiry. Didn't get approved for it, but they said, "Hey, what is this? What is this inquiry here?" And no new debt acquired, and just trying to get a credit card for the welcome offer or something. So that's like the most that really happens. I haven't really heard of, like, all the banks will tell you like, "Oh, don't do it. A scrutiny with the underwriter." But I don't know. Personally, I haven't personally dealt with any issues so far with me, my clients. And I actually like put it out there to the world on those videos. Like, if you ever had an issue with this, tell me. The only issue that ever came up was exactly as I just mentioned, which was letter of explanation, and then they got the house. Like, so I don't know. I'm putting it out there again. If anybody has anything out there as well. Like Boxer actually just comes in again. He says, I just want the best rate possible. My experience is up to 10 hard hits, only three dropping off in 25. To be honest, the inquiries are not going to make a difference on what kind of loan you get with the bank whatsoever for a house. The inquiries do not matter. The amount of credit cards do not matter. The amount of debt you have in credit cards, that matters to a degree, of course, with the debt to income ratio. Kind of, actually, not really. Credit cards don't really even credit card debt doesn't actually count towards your odds of being approved. They will look at it and they'll take it into consideration. If it's super high, then yeah, there's going to be a problem. But for the most part, they're not actually factoring it into your DTI for the most part. So the only thing that they're literally the only thing you need to get a home loan is to just have the last, typically depends on your actual job, but the last 2 months of income. You have to be able to prove that. You have to be able to prove like deposits into your account, have to have the proof of funds. So what are you putting down? 5%, 3%, something like that. Okay, you have to show them your bank account that shows the amount of money needed for that down payment, and then plus the closing cost on the house. So factor in another 1 to 2%, something like that. So as long as you just have like proof of income, proof of funds that you can make the down payment and closing cost deposit or closing costs, and your credit score is, honestly, at this point with the rates, most of these lenders are just looking at over 680. Like, it's crazy to say. Like, all over the years, everyone has always said, "Oh, 740 or higher." It's just not in this environment. It's like not a thing. It's really not a thing at all. Like, it's crazy. Like, there are some lenders out here in South Carolina and other states that are like, listen, if they just have a 580, we can get them in the door with this particular program. No money down. All these crazy things, without with just a 580 score. All of us watching here, I'd imagine all 110 of you, I would be surprised if any of you had a score lower than 650 if you've been in this, if you're watching and if you've like been in the credit card game for over a year. Like, I would be surprised. So like, I don't think you guys will ever have that issue, but as long as you have those three things, and I would say maybe in the last 6 months, as long as you didn't apply for like 10 different things, credit cards, I would say personal loans is a little different, because that will factor into your DTI. As long as you have those covered, I mean, you're gonna get the home loan. like if you can cover the payments and you have no debt, like it really doesn't matter whatsoever. Again, worst that's gonna happen is that, yeah, they're gonna say as long as the inquiries aren't like, I would estimate over 10, something like that. So maybe in your case, wait a little bit, let those drop off. But I would say they would just ask for, what is all this? Um, so um so just to put it out there, it's actually freaking wild. I've been a real estate agent here for the last 3 years, but in the last few months, I've really like picked it up again with getting a couple or a few clients, and doing it again. And it's actually like revitalized me. But seeing the landscape and everything, I'm like, really, I'm so surprised at the amount of not only incentives are out there for first time home buyers, but also like, yeah, the requirements to getting a home loan currently are so low. It's actually freaking crazy. I mean, some people have mentioned, like, I think in some videos I've done with real estate, they're like, oh, this is looking like 2008 again. And I'm like, they're still stringent to a point. They're still stringent on like your DTI, like, no more than 50. I know some will go up to like 60%, but no more than like 50% debt to income ratio. How much you're making versus how much you're owing on your payments every single month, every single year, on whatever outstanding debts you have, like car loans and personal loans and maybe other home loans, what have you, student loans, all those different things. But the amount of incentives out there is absolutely insane, for sure. And as actually, I was just thinking of Tennessee when I was mentioning this, Yuri. Prices of homes started to fall here in Tennessee. Similar here in South Carolina, and I think most of these non-coastal states that are like high population growth areas, for sure, I'm seeing across the board, with these rates staying higher for longer, and even in some cases, rates going higher. Like, I remember just a few months ago, I was able to get a conventional loan at 6.6%. That's what I got on this home, 6.625%. Okay, cool. If you try to go for that exact same loan today with the same lender, 7.6, 1% higher than just a few months ago. And that is crazy. And that's why a lot of it is obviously the Fed, seeing what Jerome Powell's talking about, and seeing inflation data and checking out PCA and all these different things. But honestly, if you literally just look at like the 10-year treasury, and maybe I'm going too in the weeds, but if you just literally look at the 10-year treasury, it's like, if that's trending up, just assume your mortgage is going up. And then if that's going down, assume assume mortgage loans or rates for loans are going down. Stock market will start going up a little bit. Like, if you just look at the 10-year treasury, what people are projecting out for future, I guess, growth, for the economy, and what they can get for their dollar. I mean, that's all you have to look at, and you kind of know where the market's headed. It's actually pretty funny. And yeah, you definitely had a lot of people. You had a lot of people there, but still, it's like, here in Vegas, homes are still going up, and the California people are moving here. And John says houses here in Kansas City are going down. Guys, 107 people. Let me know what's going on in your real estate market. Say the city. and then, or if you don't want to say city, say the state, and then what you're noticing in your area, with the rates high. Are homes selling as fast? I would love to hear it. I would estimate no. I would estimate it's very similar to here, even though this is a fairly high population growth area as well. It just seems as if most people like don't want to sell because then they have to buy something, and if you're not a cash buyer, well then cool. Then you're just having, foot the bill of some higher interest rates. Which is why, like, I want to keep mentioning this because I actually think it's pretty important for anybody who's a first time home buyer, which it seems like a few of you folks are. Take advantage of these incentives that I'm talking about. Like it's huge, and I want you to consider it because it can really set you up for a better future. I feel personally, like I mentioned a couple streams ago, new construction. Like if you're in an area that's doing a lot of new construction, they got to move those houses because they have a lot of different locales to get to. They got some costs on the back end. Nobody gets paid until someone buys a house, a new construction. The owners of the company, the people doing the construction, the agents that are working there. So they're offering a lot of incentives, a lot of out here. I don't know how it is in your state. Let me know if it's different here in South Carolina and in Knoxville, Tennessee. And they're offering like upwards to 10, even in some cases $15,000 worth your closing costs. Remember I mentioned earlier about closing costs being like 1 to 2% of your loan, something like that. So a 300K house, just factor in cool seven. Depending on the loan type, $7,000-8,000 in closing costs. They will cover that for you. And then there are some cases where they'll cover that for you. And then you can actually do something called buy your rate down with the excess cash. Like say you have an extra $5,000, what they call flex cash, take that and buy down your rate. So essentially, like if you're at a 7% interest rate, you can take some money on the front end. You'll lose that 5K. It goes to the bank and they'll give you like a 6.7% interest rate, something like that. Every bank does it a little bit differently, but there's a lot of things like that going on. So you have to like know that's even possible before you can pursue it. So I think that's powerful. Like check out your new construction in the area. I think that's really powerful as well. One thing I did mention last time that I think still, I want to make a whole video on this because I still think there are buyers that are clueless to this, and it's not their fault because no one's educating it. But we had about 10 months ago the real estate commission, the one who controls all of the realtors in all of the United States. We had a huge revamp in our practice essentially. So basically, real estate agents for the longest time, the buyers essentially in the past, the real estate commission kind of stepped in and said, hey, we're going to make this whole process easier for the people buying homes. So this way we can supplement, at least have a little bit more demand, stuff like that. So they wanted to make it easier for buyers to get into their first house. And the way they did that is majority of the time, kind of without even thinking about anything initially, when people are selling a house, they're the ones footing the bill of not only the listing agent's costs, and also the buyer's agent's costs. So if I help you buy a house, my commission, my 2-3% is coming from the seller. That has changed as of 10 months ago, and they have found that is no longer right. It's no longer correct to do that. And so they changed it to where now when you want to go and list with an agent, or not say list your house, but say work with a buyer's agent. So I help you buy a house. They have it now in writing in the buyer's agency agreement. Well, one, you can't even go look at a house without signing a buyer agency agreement with an agent. In the past, you could just be like, hey agents, let's go see this house. And then there was no required documentation. Some will make you do that, but it's not required. Now it's required to go look at a house. You have to have a signed buyer's agency agreement. And in that agreement, which I'm going to urge this every stream now, because I think it's important, because people will get screwed at the end if they're not properly telling these people. In that agreement literally states like, hey, I'm going to try my hardest to get my fee, right? My 2 or 3% as a buyer helping you for my, expertise in the field, what have you, from the seller, as it always was in the past, for many decades. And then, and then now in the writing, if you look at the contract, there's a little line there. It's like a little bit down. It'll actually mention like, hey, if I can't get that from the seller, then you owe me my 3%, the buyer. So not only would you owe the down payment of 3 or 5%, the closing costs of another 1 to 2%, but then also the 2 or 3% that we don't get from the seller on that house. And so, like, as a first time home buyer, you're screwed. Like, if you did not get briefed on that and this agent didn't disclose that to you, and you know nothing, I mean, by the time you get to a closing table on a 250K house, I mean, you're paying about $12,000 with the down payment. Call it 15,000 down payment, closing costs, and a little bit extra, and then you're also paying an additional, call it another $7,500 for the agent. I mean, you're coming out of pocket over $20,000, whereas in the past, you wouldn't have to foot that bill of that extra 3%. It's like, what first time home buyers have that much? Like, that's the biggest issue of people getting their first houses. They don't have the down payment. So like, this screwed a lot of buyers. Like, absolutely have screwed a lot of buyers. And then even on top of that, I'll go even more in depth because screw it. I feel so strongly about it. Um, when you actually go through the negotiations, like, you find an agent, you like them, okay, cool. Say that you agree to the 3% because I trust this agent that they're going to get me the best price for the best home. Should this happen where the seller says we're not giving you everything, which I will say it's not necessarily fully, it has, I mean, I think in other states it has, like California, what have you. At least in South Carolina, some of these other states, the sellers are still offering up like the 2.5 to 3%. So, like, it's still happening. It's not happening like crazy right now, but I'm just, for the future it might. But say in this example that we have an agent who want to pay for his time, 3%, cool, it's coming out of the buyer's pocket. They're in negotiations, you can ask for things like things that are wrong with the house. Like, the AC is broken. Okay, give me 5K to repair that. I want some, who knows, something repaired in the house and I want a couple $1,000s, something like that. You can negotiate that in the contract. And I do that on every contract. You always ask for, try to ask for something. If there's something wrong with the house, right? Unless it's pristine. And so what a lot of agents are doing too is they're negotiating on those closing costs, sorry, I'll put it this way. They're asking for that credit of like $5,000 to fix the AC. But then, so to save you money, they're actually saying, okay, instead of the 5K, like, technically going to you via fixing, you would have to pay it anyway. It's just going to go to the agent to pay my fee anyway, since you were going to pay it anyway to your pocket, right? So just take the closing cost incentive, that little like the credits that I'm talking about, and just give it to me as my commission, and then that just saved you $5,000, right? So it's like, I don't know, and I guess that's a little bit of a way on the agent side to get your commission, because one, it's not the agent's fault. Like, the real estate commission put this all out here. They changed this. The agents didn't really have a say in the matter, so now we have to deal with this, right? we have to deal with this. And so the way a buyer's agent kind of keeps themselves safe is that, yeah, you have to get paid for your time. I mean, what happens if you show this person 50,000 houses, they go to buy it, seller says we're not giving you anything? Am I supposed to just get paid 0% for my time? So it's a weird situation. It's a weird situation. So I'm not saying the agent's evil, because you got to do that because you have to cover your own as an agent. But it's just, as a buyer, you need to know that that's also a thing, and that is something that you can negotiate with your agent. Technically, be like, hey, I want 3%. Okay, how about 2.5? Something like that. And if anybody other agents are in here, he's like, damn it, don't tell him this much, but I think it's important. I think it's important to know. And I could go even more in depth on it. Real estate, I actually really love real estate. I would love to do more of it over time, once the income can kind of go up a little bit. I would love to get into it more, but I just kind of like talking about it. It's kind of fun. Buck says you should do a video on how to find an agent. Well, funny you say that, because personally, what I've done for a couple of friends so far is they live in different states, and I'm like, well, we're friends, right? And just like you would use my credit card referral link, you can actually use the Anthony Venture link to find you an agent in your area. So I've done that for a couple people now, and I just literally scour and I talk to a bunch of agents, and I'm like, okay, who is the best agent in your particular city? I find them, I scout them out, I find them, I talk to them, and I'm very good on the phone. Like, I'm trying to figure out, is this a person who's answering on the first ring? Is this a person that seems to be on the ball? How long have they been in the business? So I'm finding the best agent, and then basically I'm passing them off to you or my friends, I will get on the back end the 25% commission whenever the house, buys or sells, or if they buy a house or if they sell a house, and it's literally no additional cost to the person using this service. Like it's literally just benefit to me by getting the commission, benefit to you by getting an actual good agent if you don't have one. So I think I should launch that service. I really think I should do that, and I think like if you already somehow have faith in me, and since I've been doing this for a little bit of finding agent stuff, then I think it would be an interesting business to just be like, hey, if you need an agent, I will find you one. I will scour your city and I will find the best one. And then this way you have a good experience. Because ultimately that will save you a lot of money. Of course it's like, I guess an additional, well, I guess it's not, it's easier because otherwise you would have to call and then you get some freaking Joe Schmo from Zillow and he's like, oh, you ready to buy? I'd rather it be curated based on, and again, that reflects on me. It's like, if I find you a bad one, business is over. So like I'm incentivized to find a good person. So yeah, I get, you know what, screw it. If you guys need an agent, I've already done it in the past. So it's, it's no problem. I've already done this. It's pretty proven. It's been done before. Let me know. Hit me up on Discord. I will find you an agent in your city. And I literally don't even have to really exchange contact info with you. It's your name and then your phone number and just pass it off to the agent there. So you know what? Screw it. You're giving me the confidence. I think we could do it. I think it would be an interesting video for an agent. I would like to do more real estate stuff. I think it'd be fun. Because honestly, I hate to say it, I hate most realtors. I hate most of them. I really don't like dealing with most of them. Luckily, in my time, I've dealt with some really great ones. Also dealt with really poor ones, and a lot of them are just nasty. Like I don't want to deal with it. So I just air it all out, I guess, right? But I like the ones that I like. I'll be a first-time buyer in a few years with a VA loan. I'm going to hunt for all the incentives and programs by the state and local government for vets. Yes, absolutely. Especially as a veteran. I mean, you already know the standard. Like, VA loans, you can get 0% down, no PMI, so private mortgage insurance. Basically, if you're putting less than 20% down on a property, they'll have you pay. Depending on the price of the home, maybe a 300K house, another $100, $150 on your loan every month. It's essentially insurance for the bank. So this way you're not going to default on your loan. But as a VA loan, and even some USDA loans. So look out if your area is a USDA area. You can get zero money down, 0% down, just pay closing costs. 1 or 2%. And then you'll get no PMI as well. So like that's powerful. That's actually really freaking powerful as well. And then like you mentioned, government and local incentives as well. Like there's a lot of down payment assistance programs. Check with your state. Sometimes they run out of funding for it, but sometimes they can give you we'll give you a grant of $10,000 for your down payment so you can be a first-time home buyer in our city. And then there's sometimes stipulations but you just have to live in the house for 5 years and not sell it, or 10 years and not sell it. Should you sell it, you would just owe us our money back if it's in that time frame. So also check the fine print on some of those incentives. They're not all just scot-free. There's something in there. But again, most people on average move once every 7 years, like sell their house and move. So I mean, if you have something like that, it's not the biggest deal in the world. And it says, the one thing I forgot to mention. So I said the only thing you need to buy a house is proof of income last 2 months, proof of funds, and then what was the last thing I said? I don't know. And then pre-approval. Yeah, you need a pre-approval letter. And then you're good to go. Then you're good. Make sure you're pre-approved. Go to your lender. Go to multiple lenders. Get some, get some pre-approval letters, and then you can start writing offers. Don't go looking at houses if you don't have a pre-approval letter. It's just not worth it. It's taxing. You're gonna get upset. You're gonna see the right house and be like, oh, now let me get my pre-approval. And by that time, the house is gone. Maybe not in this market though. What's up, Sean? I saw you came in earlier. I did not mention the first comment, but what's going on, Sean? What's popping? Oh, wait, did I? You said just tuning in. Wait, I think I missed that. Anthony, upstate is closed. We can't take any more people. I know. We're inching closer to 600,000 people in Greenville. Do a video on this? Hell yeah, let's do it. Yeah, hell yeah, that'd be fun. Make your life easier. Love the name. 250K might buy the dirt with a toy house for dolls in my area. Oh my goodness. Where are you at? Then? California? You in DC? I'll take a guess. I feel like you're in DC. I'm gonna guess you're in DC. Somebody from New York City moving down here to the Jersey Shore. Oh, you're over there. Yeah, I mean, if you're actually near there, it could be pricey for sure. Phil almost said, I paid my closing costs with Hilton gift cards. Could you imagine? I mean, just for a thing, that would be really funny. That would be really funny. Could you imagine going to the closing table with the Hilton gift cards? I mean, it would be the most ridiculous thing anyone's ever done, but hey, for a video. Jason, hello, Anthony. How are you, Jason? What's going on? Sean says, are you part of the Built Realtor group? No, no, unfortunately. It's like, I really love the brokerage I'm with because my broker is, it's like a small brokerage, and I've been with him since we started it, literally. So like a few plus years ago. Um, and I went from his first one, and then when we started this one kind of together, honestly, I was like the first agent in this brokerage. We kind of just went hard, and so like what you're saying is, are you an EXP agent? So this way, if anybody wanted to come to South Carolina, I could help them buy a house, and then I could get them their build points, right? If something goes wrong with my brokerage, maybe I'll jump ship and go to EXP, and then I can really like capitalize on this audience. But no, I'm not, and I'm not. But again, I could refer you to somebody. I get a cut of that commission, you get your build points, and then everybody's happy. So yeah, yeah, that's that's a thing. I have thought about it though, Sean. I mean, any other situation, I honestly probably should, but I appreciate my broker so much. Um, Matt Clausen's here. What's popping? He says, I need to get out of my credit card feelings. It's like Drake, right? In my feelings. I need to get out of my credit card feelings. What's up, y'all? What's going on? Two Gross, how much are you still doing realty? Is it a significant part of your income? I mean, it's decent. It wasn't as much last year. I think I probably said it a bunch of times, but like I've been doing it a few years, but honestly, once YouTube started making some more money, I was just like, you know what? Let's just kind of go all in YouTube. It's way more, I would say, it's easier to do in a way, even though YouTube's like an endless job. I feel like real estate, it's a more endless job with maybe less fruit in some cases. So like, if you're just like going out there trying to find people to buy a house, everything's cold because they don't know you. Obviously you want to build up a database of people that know you and then refer, right? That's the way to do it. But I mean, there came to a point where like credit cards kind of like did really well. Not credit cards, but the YouTube channel did really well. So I was like, you know what? I could pursue both, but I mean, I really am just loving YouTube so much. And even at that point, I mean, obviously still now, even more so. And it's like, it's so actionable. Like I could just get on today and do this live stream, right? Like, but I can't like, I don't know, all of a sudden get 100 people like, hey, who wants to buy a house? Are you ready? Let's go out tomorrow. It's like you got to put in a lot more work to gather this. I could just make hopefully a good video, and then the people will come. Real estate, I can do as much as I want, and still, it's basically based on if they're willing to buy or sell. And I can't tell you, there's some clients I have, a year will go by looking at houses, a year, and they waste your time essentially. They were never looking to buy in the first place. So like, you take the good with the bad. I've had some really great closings, some really easy ones, like within a month, bam, cool commission check, like something like that. But, so definitely was more significant, but I just feel there's more leverage opportunity in YouTube. But now that I'm starting to kind of get some folks from the YouTube channel, like you guys watching, either move to Greenville or live here already, like our boy Sean. I've kind of been a little bit revitalized because you already kind of know me. I'm on live stream. It's a weird way where you kind of already trust me, oddly enough. I know it's weird to say, but it's just kind of how it is when like you see someone online, you just kind of like inherently trust them. And and obviously so far I've treated everybody perfectly, and no one's ever like been like, oh, I'm not working with him anymore. So like I think I want to just do that. Like if I can just somehow connect the two worlds, and if anybody needs a house out here, or if I can refer out to other agents, I think I'll do it more on that basis, because on that basis, when it's already comfortable conversation and I'm not going crazy, showing you a million things, like it's such a much easier transaction. Like it's not even close going from just people cold. Like I've basically walked up to people and I've been able to be like, my whole thing to get a lot of clients in the past was like, well, I used to work a lot of model homes for new construction, but as a regular real estate agent. And a lot of times they would walk in and be like, oh yeah, I'm selling my house. And I'd be like, oh, cool. Where is it? And no matter where they said it was, no matter where, I just happen to be there in a couple of days. I'm scoping out something else over there in a couple of days. Do you mind if I come by, give you a free appraisal, and we can talk a little bit further, something like that. And 99% of the time, like that works, oddly enough, because most people don't have an agent, they don't know, and if they like you from the beginning, and you already say like, oh, this is easy, he'll come to my house in a couple of days, and then we can get started. Like that's how I got a lot of clients over the years. But outside of that, it's just freaking tough. It's like cold approaching women, right? It's tough. We've all had to do it, but yeah, so I mean I'm doing it, but now basically on a referral and a know me basis. I'm not really fighting for it as I once was. It's just if you know me, if you're a referral, I will treat you as good as anything, and I'll give you 100% of my time. But otherwise, I'm not really pursuing it like outside people. So that's kind of where I'm at with it at the moment. Sean says, also, are you involved in land sales, not homes? Yeah. So I've sold land a couple times for different reasons. One guy just wanted it as an investment for putting I think he was switching between tiny homes and mobile home parks. And then I had another dude who wanted to build a gas station. I wish I actually could remember the street that it was on. It was a little bit ago. Like Sean, you would know where it is. There's like a couple gas stations over there. But yeah, so like lands, so like figuring out permitting and talking to the county and seeing zoning and stuff like that. Yeah, I've done basically all of that in the past with land. So if you need help with that, I got you. But it's land is fun. Land was actually the first thing I ever sold for somebody. I listed it and I actually found a buyer, and I ended up being an agent for both sides. It was actually a pretty interesting conversation. The guy who bought the land, who wanted to put like mobile home parks or like tiny homes, he had like a parrot. And the parrot came with him on closing. He was like, "Rah." He's like, buy the land, something like that. So yeah, we've run the gamut on some of these different things. Don Kim says that's exactly how Joe Schmo from Zillow returned the call. Would not recommend Joe Schmo from Zillow. Now, are you just being funny with me, Don Kim, or is that true? Because literally, what was my impression? I was like, you don't want Joe Schmo from Zillow calling us. You're like, oh, you ready to buy? Yeah, yeah, you get that. See, and that's the thing. One of my friends did that. He contacted Zillow to go look at a house. The agent he got hated him, absolutely hated him. So he said, Anthony, could you help me out? And I was like, yeah, I'll find you an agent. So I found literally the perfect agent, probably like the best one I've ever found. Within like 2 seconds too, just on the phone, you like talk to her. I was like, oh yeah, she's legit. And she was actually the broker. So like, the person who owns the brokerage, handled it, and he's having a great transaction with it all. So yeah, that's why I think venture service is something. I think it's something we could do in the future. I don't know. If you need an agent, let me know. Doing a lot of plugs tonight. We plugged the Discord, the newsletter. Now all of a sudden, venture leads or venture referrals for real estate. You never know. As long as people have a good train, that's all I care about. Like every time I have a client, I'm like, all I care about is if you just have the happiest transaction possible. That's it. Like it's the simplest approach, but it's so true. Too many people pressure and they do these things. I'm like, look, find the house you like. I'll get you a really good deal on it, and we'll be really fast. And you need an agent that's fast. That's another thing. If you're going to be going for houses, you need an agent that will literally pick up the phone and will write an offer if you say you want the house like 2 minutes from now. Like you see a house, you need to be able to write that offer within I would say 2 hours. If you can get it in within 2 hours, you're good. And that's what I've always done. I like being faster than everybody else. That's my thing. So I'm just saying. Just to be, just to mention, just to sell yourself a little. Matt Cullen says, "Don't compare me to Aubrey, Aubrey Graham. Come on, man. He's a Canadian folk, right? He's all right." I'm not. Well, what happened, Matt? Are you talking about JetBlue? Is that what the Blues are about? Wait, did you actually say the Blues? Did I not catch that? What did you mention earlier? I don't see your comment. Oh no, you said credit card feeling. Oh, you should have said the credit card blues. The Jet Blues. Oh, Jersey Shore. You're in Jersey Shore. Are you like literally in Seaside Heights, or like how far off of Jersey Shore are you? What's up, Miss Potato? It's popping, sir. How are you? Monroe Doctrine. I'm currently 424. What card should I get? I get annual fee waived, so no card is off limits. Yeah, military man. My setup is Bonvoy Boundless. Product change in a year to the Ritz. Very cool. Bonvoy Brilliant, Amex Gold, and Schwab Platinum. Huh. All right. So you already, you got some great cards there. If you're on the Marriott side, I'm just thinking maybe you don't want Hilton cards. I'm just guessing. Maybe you're just trying to stay with Marriott, so maybe that's not a thing. Uh, yeah, I mean, probably just a chase card. I mean, if you got that one slot left, you're probably better off. Like if you can get a, honestly, I hate to say it, sound like cliche, but if you can get an ink, that would be good. If you can get an ink card, that'd be good. Uh, you know, Otherwise, if you don't have a Sapphire preferred or what have, or even, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. Yeah, Sapphire preferred because it's the same welcome offer. Get some chase points. That'd be cool. That's probably what I'd say. With your last slot, yeah, maybe just go for a chase card. Get a reserve preferred, get an ink. No annual fees anyway, so just pick the one with the highest welcome offer. Technically, that would be the ink, so hopefully you get approved for it. If not, then yeah. Well, I guess if you're at 424, it won't add to your 524 to add some ink, so you can add a couple of them if you can. Why not? And is in Wisconsin. Okay, interesting. Mike Newland says Central Texas is still high, but has slowed down a lot in the past year. Good to know, Mike. Good to know. Interesting. Everybody's slowing down, man. Rates are higher for longer. We've heard that. We've heard that for sure. um, we've heard that. Over the past couple of years. What's your split between listings and buyers? I'm guessing you mean like how many for each. I guess technically more buyers. I've definitely worked with more buyers than listings. Yeah, I would definitely say more buyers than listings, I would say. So maybe like 60-40 or maybe 70-30, 70 buyers, 30 listings. Listings are so freaking easy though. Like, I mean, it's, the only time it's not easy is like, if you're in a situation like now, there's a lot of people who are looking to move that are listing their home and they can't. They literally cannot move because their house won't get sold. So you're just days on the market is 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. There comes to a point if you don't sell a house long enough, that reflects badly on not only the brokerage. Technically, the brokerage reflects badly, but you as an agent, that's like, why is it not getting sold? Even though it's like kind of out of your control in a way. You can do as many incentives as you want. Some of these houses are offering, like, I walked into a house the other day. I was showing a client a house literally last weekend, I think. We walked into a house. They said, we'll give you, if you buy this house, we'll give you a $5,000 incentive to basically redo all of the carpets. Redo all the carpentry in the house. We'll give you $5,000. And this is a house that's, I think it was around four something. Yeah, it was like four. Actually, I think it was like 460, like $460,000 house. I was walking around trying to help this guy buy, and they're like, oh, 5K incentive. Yeah, some of them will have incentives like that. You can throw whatever you want. Some agents will put it in there like, hey, well, they're not allowed to advertise what the buyer's agent commission would be anymore. That would be against the realtor commission. But you can call, like if you call up, they'll be like, hey, our sellers have already agreed to giving the buyer's agent like 3%. And just so you know, I'm only taking as the listing agent 2.5. So like, really incentivize buyer's agents to sell that home, to find a buyer for that home than anyone else. So a lot of that's definitely happening for sure. I don't even know how I got on that tangent, but definitely more buyers than listing. Oh, because listings I said were easy, but the only time they're not easy is like, yeah, you have to start throwing incentives. The seller's looking at you like, what are you doing? Are you even like trying to sell this home? How many open houses can you really set up before the house gets sold? It's like, yeah, it can be crazy. For sure. Chad says, I trust you, bro. I appreciate it, Chad. I appreciate you, man. It's great. That's funny. That's good. Dugras says, I saw a guy on the internet, therefore he's trustworthy, right? That's how it is. It's a funny, there has to be an effect for that, like a name, some sort of effect. Like I don't know, you almost feel like so like obviously I watch all these people, like all these people I met on credit card, Stan, Spencer, all these people, Sebi, like they're like larger than life folks, right? So like you go and meet them, you're like, oh, you feel like you know them already. Like, oh yeah, how was your trip? You're like, I never met you before. you know, it's weird. It's weird when you meet people and like to be like they know everything, or if like oh, how was the house? Like, what's your name? So it's funny. Charles says, Anthony, great live as always. You may have to adjust the title of the video. See, I really would wish there was a way to like cut off the first half and then start a new stream without having to end it. I see. I don't want to change the title because anybody who clicks on could now will kind of reverse to the intro, which is the title. And then anybody, once this video ends, it'll go out as a normal video. So at least the first 15 minutes was all on topic. so, so it should do fairly well as a video itself. Excuse me. Like I know Twitch does that, right? Like people are streaming on Twitch to like adjust it midway through, because there's like no VOD that people care about, what after the fact. So, yeah, if I could find out a way, I would love to. But yeah, we haven't talked about Hilton in a while. We always end up going into real estate. I almost just feel like I just need to do. I don't know. Maybe next Wednesday I'll just do real estate only, like what to do if you're a first time home buyer. So maybe we can get everybody in, and then we can have like a nice little group discussion about it, so everyone gets the best deal possible, the best experience possible. Maybe we have to do that. I don't know. Yeah, that'll be interesting. So or a different channel for the algorithm. See, I wouldn't do it. I really want everything to be here. I would love to just like live stream real estate stuff or other financial like stocks and stuff, and just put it all here. And I really don't want to start on a different channel, to be honest. It's a lot of work, and I don't know. I feel like you could bridge the gap a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. It's a good point though. Tim McDonald, what's your pick? Eagles or Chiefs? I mean, I hate to say it. I would hate to say it, but I don't. I mean, I don't care. I don't follow it. The only thing I will say, sorry, I will say I want the Chiefs to win because my girl Taylor Swift supports the Chiefs. I think, yeah, she's with the Chiefs, right? What's his name? Travis Kelce. Yeah. So Taylor Swift, my girl, she's with the Chiefs. So you know what? We'll go for the we'll go for the Chiefs. Oh god, everyone's gonna leave after I say that. Unbelievable. Dugras, I had a feeling you would like that username. Andrew G, I'm a real estate agent with Next Home. Oh, a fellow next homie. All right. Listen, I get my Luke shirt on. Based in Atlanta, Georgia. We should connect for future referrals. Where are you based? I'm in Greenville, and that will be very easy for referrals since we're both next home. So there you go. Very nice. That would be cool. Yeah, let's do it. Andrew, if you're not in the Discord, hit me up, send me a message, and we can. That'd be good, actually. Yeah. So if I listen, we got plenty of folks in Atlanta. So if you're that agent, man, I'll send you some referrals. Over there. If you're killing it, that'd be good. But yeah, hit me up in the Discord if you can. The link's in the description, and then we'll say what's up. My buddy at base military training history teacher. That's funny. Chad agrees. I'm Joe Schmo, and I approve this message. What's up, Joe Schmo? Yeah, sorry for the topic derail. No, good. You good, Boxer. I like it. Let's do that because I got more questions. Now, let me see. Did I? Yeah, I think that is 9:34. So then you meant, okay, so me doing an extra stream. So I'll do that. Let's see here. La tarjeta de crédito ideal. 3 beneficios innovadores y por qué serían revolucionarios. Now, I don't speak Spanish. In case you... oh, just seeing if Joe... Teddy. Now, can I do my best here? Let me see if I can understand this, just based on some of the words that look like English words. Now I kind of had a goal. I was thinking maybe I could learn Spanish before Puerto Rico. I think it would be fun, do a cool year of it. Let me see. So what is the ideal credit card? I'm guessing is what that means. 3 revolutionary and innovative benefits. I don't know. What is that? Three cards that would benefit, like the ideal. Oh, sorry. Ideal is not. That's not English. All right. Never mind. Joe, help me out, Joe. Let's see here. Monroe Doctrine. Oh, George. What's going on, George? I didn't say what's up to you. What's popping? Monroe says stock market got hammered this week. Damn DeepSeek. Yeah, I know. Deep something else. Yeah, I know. It's really It's interesting. If you were listening to the earnings call with Meta and Microsoft, which Microsoft kind of got clobbered a little bit in the after hours, Facebook a little bit too, after going up to like 700 a share. I think it was Meta, right, who mentioned like, oh, or was it Microsoft? Actually forgetting which one. It might have been Meta, where they were like, oh, we're looking to start integrating some of the, I guess, revolutions that were made from DeepSeek into our systems. And I think once they started touting like, oh, DeepSeek has a good product here, despite some people mentioning like, oh, they have way more GPUs than they say. Despite that, I think giving clarity on the earnings call after hours, like, hey, they have something here, basically drop them again, because they noted like, okay, because there was a whole thing like, oh, they locked registrations to Chinese only, and then they did some other things to lock things. So everyone thought it was a huge nothing burger, and they thought that they were lying because they lied about how many GPUs they're using for their systems. I actually don't even fully understand what it is they do, but hearing this hearsay out there, it's pretty interesting. But I think just acknowledging like, oh, they have something here, made people more worried again on top of it. And so, and then so that freaks people out in the after hours. I mean, I wonder, how are some of these companies that reported actually doing after hours? Let's see, Facebook. Let's actually put it up on the screen, because I believe last I checked, they were a little under. Oh, okay. So after hours, they're at 692. So yeah, a little under 7. Let's see here. So yeah, they spiked up to 711. So that's probably right. Yeah, right towards the earnings call. Mentioning it, and DeepSeek mention right down to 683. A 30-point swing from 711 down to 683 in, what was that? I guess an hour after mentioning DeepSeek, and then it kind of since has recovered, and now we're at 692. But I think Microsoft actually got hit a little bit harder here. Let me see. Oh man, damn. Yeah, and I think it's on the back of some other things here. Yeah, the revenue falls short of expectations. Okay, cool. Let's see. So 4 p.m. market closes. Bam, 425. We have a cool, a couple, a few percent hit right there. We're recovering a little bit after earnings. Looks like a little bit oversold. And then, then I think more talk of DeepSeek, and see they got way more of that hurt, which has since recovered a little bit, but they definitely got more hurt than Facebook on this call here. That's pretty interesting. I always like to look like, how did it trend in the moments leading up. I often really do think that the market is entirely a rig system. It's an entirely different topic. All right, let's go to stocks. Who cares? But I always typically like to see on stocks that are a little bit more manipulated, like how did they perform in the days leading up to earnings, on whether or not, if some info is leaked, like maybe revenue falling and stuff like that. Some knowledge prior to. I'm not sure what actually happened here. I was not following this, but it looks like even it looks like you're basically even on the week if you're starting right around here. That's interesting. But it looks like here kind of trended a little bit up, kind of recovered everything, and then a big sell off. And I'm seeing this more and more often. I really don't think that I'm crazy or a loony, but I mean, you'll often see this. When you're following a stock for a little bit, you'll notice like in the days leading up to the earnings in the last like year, you'll see a huge trend up if the stock is going to fall after hours. In this case, it does look like it's been fairly steady for Meta, for Facebook. And then after earnings, kind of we got a big pump and then a drop a little bit. But that's an interesting, man. Look at that swing of today, 665 to 692. And forget it, Tesla, which I was following, was a huge swing, an actual really crazy swing from after hours. I think it's only showing 374, but it actually did touch, I believe, touched 365 right after earnings released. Basically, they showed that their revenue was a miss. The operating margins were a miss on Tesla this quarter. However, EBITDA, EBITDA earnings did actually go up, which means that maybe they're getting a little bit more efficient with some things. We know they're starting to have like some of their, cards, oh my God, credit cards, some of their cars starting to drive themselves to the parking lot, which is pretty cool, without having a human drive them to like the transportation area where they can get on the trucks and stuff. Robotics, all these different things. But then we got this huge pump after hours, even though it was like kind of horrible earnings, like not great. It was kind of expected. But we went from, like I said, this was like 365 up to a plus positive of 411. It was like a 40-point jump after hours. You can even see it's still carrying on to 405 after the fact. Basically, a lot of this news was based on saying Elon on the earnings call was like, oh, we're going to start, maybe I'll actually say it down here. Does it say it here? No, it doesn't say it here. But they say in June we're going to be launching an unsupervised, a supervised ride-hailing service that will be paid with their cars. It's going to be a test run, California as well, and then some other states a little bit later. So I think that's kind of where a lot of this came from. I think people are looking at EBITDA margin here, and they were like, okay, cool. But then, yeah, after the fact, kind of pumped and kind of kept that. So that's interesting. Usually, Tesla only goes down. Basically. And here's one thing I like to note too. Leading up to this was just look, we started the week at 417 and dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping, and then earnings, and then bam, right after, literally keeping you flat on the week. So anybody who's got these hedge funds, whatnot, they got out really early, or they bought their shares really early, and then bam, you rocket it up after hours. I think a lot of this is manipulated. I probably lost a lot of people, so sorry, but you get me on the soapbox, man. You get me on the soapbox, then I got to start talking about it. Oh, George, appreciate you, sir, with the 5 super chat, super sticker. Appreciate you, sir. George, did I ask you already? No, that's just a normal car. I was like, is that a semi truck or something? But no, thank you for that, sir. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, George. Sorry about that. All right, let me get back to regular scheduled programming. Terrell, I'm currently taking a real estate course. Very nice. I'm assuming online. And if so, how is that? To be honest, I always hated doing the real estate course online. I actually took a real estate course online, never completed it, and then took one in person. I loved it. Yeah, how's it going? Tristan, even though Taylor Swift was originally an Eagles fan, is that true? I had no idea. Wow, look at that. Trailer Swelsey. Right. Nicola says the triple album when Taylor and Jason break up. The triple album went, oh yeah, it's gonna, yeah, we'll see. We'll see, man. I don't know. There's some lore with that. There's some lore with Travis. Maybe he's the one. You never know. He's not right for it, bro. Will Nguyen, some of these property restaurants are not associated with Hilton, therefore would not take a gift card. Miami South Beach. Oh yeah, for sure. Always got to check and see. I guess the main thing is, if you're going to just use the gift card alone for the restaurant, it has to be owned by the property. And some people have even mentioned, even if it was owned by Hilton, they weren't able to use it. But I guess the easiest way is if you're staying there, bill it to the room and then pay at checkout. But not everyone wants to do that. Some people just want to go there. So we'll see. Let's see here. I have to root for the Eagles. They're my second favorite team in the NFL. Who's your first? Teddy says this isn't a Joe Burrito street. Hey, we can make it one. He's like, wepa, go crazy. He's going, yeah. Insanity. Teddy says, what would the ideal credit card be? Oh, okay. So I was correct. Three innovative benefits, and why would they be okay? So I almost had all of it. It's just I didn't get the why. What's the why in Spanish? Where's the why in Spanish? Where is your comment? Where is it? Oh, is it just the por qué serían? Oh, okay. Or por qué is the why, I guess. Let's see here. What would the ideal credit card be? 3 innovative benefits, and why would they be? I mean, I don't know. For me, it's just like, yeah, I guess, I don't know. I guess 1 lounge access, 1 pay your mortgage. Well, I think the innovative benefits part would be kind of like Built is doing, where you can kind of pay your rent or your mortgage through the Built portal there, where you can choose any card you want, in which you can literally hit welcome offers. on your mortgage, like I did with some inks on this house. But of course, the 3% fee less that. So I think that's really revolutionary. So I love that on a card. So this way you can just keep paying your rent or keep paying your mortgage with any card you want and keep hitting welcome offers. I think that's cool, for sure. For a third benefit, I don't know, lounge access, that benefit, and then what do I care about? I don't know. That would be like different and revolutionary outside of like just groceries and whatnot. Huh. I guess what some people would consider revolutionary would just be mobile wallet. And if like everywhere started accepting mobile wallet, then cool. AI is wild and fun for sure. Yeah, that's interesting, Teddy, for sure. Make your life easier. Anthony's new channel, credit cards to get Taylor Swift concert discount tickets. This is how I know. This is how I know. You're not really. You haven't been around for that long. You haven't been around for that long. You know what? Here we go. You're about to be surprised. How about this? Anthony Venture Taylor Swift. Look, it already pops up. And bam, he already did it 2 years ago. How to get Taylor Swift Eras Tour tickets with Capital One credit cards. You like that thumbnail? Look at that. That's me in the car. What was I saying? Play Karma with Taylor Swift. Yeah, I really hit up the girlies. And I went crazy. I went on Twitter, I guess Twitter at the time, and I sent out this video to all the girls who were trying to get the Taylor Swift tickets because we were all in jail during that time. And I threw it out there. Yeah. 3,000 views. It was literally purely on Twitter marketing for all the girlies who were trying to get those tickets. So yeah, I've done it. I've done it before. But you're right. That's a new channel. That is a new channel. Peace out, Sean. Appreciate you. Terrell says, yeah, we did lose some people, 40, we still have 70. Oh Lord. Yeah, whatever. Hey, whoever wants to hang around, they're already around so long anyway. One day I'll do an actual dedicated one. I think it'll be fun. Monroe says, stocks are fun to me. 95% of my investments are in ETFs and index funds. And that's how I kind of feel the credit card community invests. Like, I don't know, but I have a feeling that most folks, correct me if I'm wrong, I actually would love to we get 77 people. I would love if you guys actually gave me data points on that. It would actually help me out a lot for the future. But do any of you invest in single stock? I guess I should say, because some people probably have some single, but majority ETFs, overwhelming, over 80% versus single stocks, over 80%, something like that. What do you guys primarily kind of invest? Is it all ETFs, all single stocks? But you're right. If that is the case, then it's what's there to look at? What's there to care about on the earnings call after hours? Yeah, sure, Meta and all of FANG, it's all weighted in the ETFs. But everything else kind of brings it up over time. So just hold that for eternity, and then you're probably good. So who cares about the Fed minutes, the federal meeting minutes? Who cares about earnings? All these different things. Just keep riding. I agree. Supercell says, for now, what are 3 cards you will never cancel? 3 cards you would never cancel? I don't know if I can say. Would there ever be 3 I wouldn't cancel? I guess excluding no annual fee cards, I'm guessing. Because then, yeah, I would just keep a lot of no annual, my inks, I would never cancel those, the ink unlimited in cash. Probably won't ever cancel those. And what other, I don't know, name another no annual fee card. I'm not sure. But if we're talking annual fee cards, they all kind of play a role in different times in life. I feel the Hilton cards play a role if you're staying at Hilton's, but I'm staying in a lot of Hyatts. So it's I don't really need it. I could just not have it. Delta cards are cool for now while I got the miles. I'm starting to get bankrupt on Delta though. So it's what can I do with that? It's if I'm not flying Delta, then who cares? If I'm flying internationally, I don't need a platinum card because I'm not worried about my Sky Clubs or Centurion lounges. So all I need is Priority Pass. So it's tough to say. I don't know. I don't think there's any annual fee. I'll just say this: I don't think there's any annual fee cards that I would ever never cancel. I hate to say it. I don't know. I think they all meet their maker one day. Sapphire Preferred, get canceled one day or downgraded. I don't think there's any annual fee cards I can keep for life. No annual fee, sure. yes, that's fairly easy. But yeah, interesting. Juan says, anyone know when U.S. bank pre-qualified tools coming back? Not sure. That's interesting. Terrell says, oh, John says the Steelers are my first, but they haven't been doing as well the last several seasons as they have been in the past. Interesting. Okay. Terrell says it's called Aceable Agent. I actually haven't heard of that. I had it for months before using it. It's actually very well put together and captivating. That's good. Yeah, I got one through the CE shop. Very boring. And they're like the biggest one. So that's good to know. That's great. Yeah, man, get that license. Go get you that license and go get with a brokerage. Hell yeah. Absolutely. But I already said bye to Sean. My life on Earth. I went to her concert 2 times when she was still country and pretty. Hey, come on, she's still pretty. Come on, man. I mean, she's like 33 now, right? So, or 34 or 35. I think she's 35 now. I think she still looks good though. I don't know. I was there once. I went to her show in Nashville. Chad says, and Chad's our residential Mr. Finance, Mr. Stocks. I invest in majority single stock as I do most fundamental research and come through financial statements for the info. Yeah, I mean, same. So we probably think about these things, which I figured of you anyway, but I think we think about these things kind of similarly in that way where, yeah, I mean, ETFs are cool, but I also really love digging into like the fine details of, the financial statements, what's the margins, all these different things. And then can you find some outliers? Where can you find some of the companies that, can outperform over time? But yeah, it's definitely where a lot of people can gain a lot of wealth for sure, especially a lot of the folks in Nvidia and all these other, it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy what some of these stocks have done over the last few years. As I'm thinking about it, I remember when Tesla and Meta were both 100. Now Tesla's 4, and Facebook and Meta's 700. Like it's crazy, absolutely insane. Teddy says during COVID, 80% individual, 20% ETFs, now 100% ETFs. Wow, good to know. Good to know. Okay, so that's good. That's what I figured. Monroe says Bonvoy Boundless is a great never cancel or change if you got a RITS already. I think that's a good point. I guess I did kind of consider the Hyatt card as like, $95 annual fee, easy free night certificate every year. I guess that's a good point. Yeah, I guess the cards that come with auto free nights. Yeah, I could see that. I guess maybe I can see that. Maybe like a Boundless or a Hyatt, with a Hyatt card. Yeah, I could see that. Honestly, I think she looks what? What is that? What's WT? Supercell is by any chance are you globalist with Hyatt? There's a follow-up question. If you are, no. But basically I just supplement my status with Hyatt by just asking people for guest of honors. So basically all the Hyatts that I'm going to now in the near future, I will be globalist via guest of honor. So but I don't know. What's your question? Maybe I know something, and then I'll probably go in the next 5 minutes. So if anybody has any last second things or things to talk about, let's go for it. Let's have fun. I'll probably go, like I said, like 5 to 10 minutes, whatever. Okay. Chad says I'm a huge fan of determining company value via free cash flow. For me, it's the best. It's been the best determining factor of corporate health and potential profitability. Honestly, it's like if you just do that, like if you just look at a company at their free cash flow, like you quite literally can just see like bare bones, even in some of these environments, depending on the company's like interest rate sensitive, what have you. But it's like with everything that's happening in the moment in the world right now, if they're still cash flow positive and it seems to be fairly stable during this environment and maybe even trending a little bit down, but if rates drop or things like this, you can see that trending up. It's like that is the backbone of the entire company. Like that is your profitability, that's your margins, that's your ability to dance with pricing pressures, that's your ability to weather any storms. Like that's huge. Like I remember one of the craziest examples I remember was Carnival Cruise Lines. I think back in 2020 when everything shut down. I remember that ended up being one of like there was Royal Caribbean. It was I forget whichever ones, but then there was Carnival Cruise Lines, and a lot of people were like gravitating towards Carnival Cruise Lines to like make the jump, like jump ship from the other cruise lines to Carnival, because they had about 500 million cash on hand, whereas the other cruise lines were like very low on cash on hand. I don't even know if Carnival was cash flow positive, so a little bit different. But at least they had cash on hand to weather a storm for the future. Unfortunately, I think they spent all of it. It didn't last entirely, but I mean, it seems like they're doing better now. I don't know, but I agree. I mean, if you just look at free cash flow, it's like it's powerful. Like as soon as a company is doing that, I mean, you can start printing, and now you can start adding some PE ratios. You can start bumping those values up a little bit, higher share prices. You know, hell yeah. It's actually like it's a great point because it's like one of the simplest metrics you can look at. Of course, there's a lot of other things. There's sentiment, potential growth paths, a million things, but that's I love that actually. Love it, love it. Tristan says Taylor looks better now than she did when she was younger. Don't tell my wife, but I agree. Supercell says I wanted to book the Hyatt Regency in Santa Clara for August 2nd, but it's all booked up because Morgan Wallen is playing that weekend. Damn. You can't be booking anywhere where Morgan Wallen's at. Wanted to see if you can get a guaranteed room availability for Globalist. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the guaranteed room availability is like within 48 hours. But I think that just means like if you need a hotel within 48 hours from now, you can get guaranteed room availability. But yeah, I could be wrong, but I feel like, yeah, I mean, if you can do it on 48-hour notice, why couldn't you do it now? If it's like months from now, it might be worth calling. Might be worth calling the Globalist line and seeing if they can get you in there. And maybe they could bump somebody who's simple discoverist like my wife. Maybe we could bump her out of the hotel. You're gonna ruin somebody's life because they're, Morgan Wallen, man. I mean, they're gonna have to pay them some money, but hey, Globalist hotline's powerful, man. I've heard of people getting bumped for Globalist needing that room. So yeah, it might be worth calling up Globalist hotline, like Sean Lane has always mentioned. Make life easier. My best performing ETFs the last 2 years have been gold and silver. Wow. Starting to hear more people talk about gold and silver and gold. Wonder why. I'm starting to hear it more. Some people in Discord actually are talking about that. An antisocial hub. Howdy, partner. Howdy, sir. How are you? All right. So with that, I will say we're at the 2-hour mark. So I want to say thank you all for being here all the way to this point. We had like 120 people. Then I started talking about stocks, and all of a sudden we're at 70. But when I was talking about real estate, everybody, it was like 120 people. So seems like real estate over stocks. Good to know. No, but no, I appreciate everybody who's. I'll appreciate you, Andrew. Yes, I'll hit you up with the real estate and stuff. But yeah, appreciate everybody who's here to the end. It's always highly appreciated. I'm just some random guy on the internet just talking. So for anybody spending their time with me on this Wednesday night, it is much appreciated. Absolutely, it's means a lot to me, more than you know. But I say it all the time, so I think you know. I will say special thanks to George for the 5 super chat. I appreciate you, sir, for that. And yeah, I guess everybody have a great night. And I will achieve it. Do it, Supercell. Have a great night. Enjoy. Be safe, and just have a good one. Be happy. Have fun. All right. Take care, everybody. Enjoy, and